The following program contains views that are not those of WVTC Network's communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. And thank you for joining my show. It's my time to shine. And it's me, your host, La-Trese Dixon. Thank you all for your support, your prayers, even the inspiration. This is my first show, so welcome, welcome, welcome. And I just wanted to give you all a brief introduction of who I am. My name is La-Trese Dixon, and basically, I am just an awesome woman of God who He is still making and molding me to be the greatest woman of God that I am to be. And I just wanted to give you all a little snippet of how It's My Time to Shine came about. Well, I was listening to one of my sisters. Big shout out to Cupcakes and Conversations. And I was telling her how awesome her show was. And we were just talking about shows. And I said, wouldn't it be funny if I started a show? And she was like, sis, you should start a show. And like every time I would run into people, I would just give them a snippet or encouragement or an encouraging word or just give them my testimony. And God just spoke to me and said, you should start your own show. And my show is dedicated to basically God, who's the head of my life, to my son, who just gave me the inspiration to just boost, to the young people that worked at WVTC, to any and everybody that I happen to encourage. And this show is about those that feel lonely, those that need encouragement, those that just need a word. And I encourage you all to tune in because maybe you're going through something. Maybe you feel like no one loves you, or maybe you feel rejected, or maybe you just went at your wits' ends. And believe me, when I tell you this, I know. How? Because I've been through it. And let me give you all just a little bit of my testimony. And I'm going to go to the current testimony that has happened. Hello, Franklin, the CEO of WVTC. Hello, Natalie. Hi, sis. Hey, Big Head, my brother, Corey. Hello, WVTC Gospel Radio Network. Hello, Tanisha, my sister from Cupcakes and Conversation. I was on her show, and about 6 months ago, I tried to kill myself. I'll never forget that day. And I just want to let you all know that emotions will run, because I want you all to know that God has not forgotten about you, that God loves you. And sometimes we don't hear that in service. And sometimes people don't understand. Yes, we as saints of God, we go through things. And this is what I call the modern testimony service, because I'm going to have guests giving you their testimony so they can inspire you. Hey, I feel like I'm in my wits' ends and I want to give up. No, don't give up. Put it all in God's hands and let Him work it out. If you want to scream, scream. If you want to shout, shout. If you want to cry, cry. But let me get back to my testimony. Like I said 6 months ago, I was an armor bearer for a pastor. And I was triggered. I just had surgery. It was the anniversary going on that I lost my mother. The anniversary going on also that I lost my father, and I gave up the family home. And I every time it was a sunny day, all I saw was darkness. And I kept hearing in my ear that I was nothing, that I was worthless, that God didn't love me. Who was I? Just nobody and a nothing. So as I was taking the pills, I was repenting to God and repenting to everyone else, talking about how bad of a person I was. And while I was laying and crying and taking these pills, I heard a voice, and it was the voice of God. And God said, La-Trese Monique Dixon, what are you doing, my daughter? And I said, God, why am I here? What is my purpose? I'm a failure. I'm nothing. I just want all of the heartache, the hurt, the generational curses. Let me repeat that again. The generational curses the low self-esteem, how about myself, the strongholds, all the negativity to just leave. And then maybe if I leave, I'll be at peace and all those around me would have peace. And God said, daughter, what did I tell you? I told you I will never leave you or forsake you, for behold, I am with you always to the end of time. I didn't say you were any of these things. You are beautiful. Why? Because everyone I made is wonderfully and beautifully made. Your job is not done. I have a work for you to do. And so the ambulance came and they took me to the hospital. You would have thought I would have had some more words of encouragement besides from God, but I still wasn't ready to receive what he said. And the staff, I don't want to say any names, they were kind of mean and rude. But it was the head nurse that came and said, you just need a break. And saints, ladies, gentlemen, and so all that needs to hear, yes, I was in a mental institution for a whole week. During that week, I was in therapy from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And God was working on me. God was teaching me how to say no. God was teaching me to not only rest, but to trust, to give him my all. I said, God, I feel like crying. He said, cry. I said, I feel like screaming. He said, scream. But at the end of the day, give me all. Why? Because in the word it says, give me all your burdens so you can rest upon me. And after I started resting, I felt this release. I felt this inner peace in me. Like they say in an old school song, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. It was God. It was God that didn't let me give up. It was God that gave me strength. It was God that gave me the encouragement to keep going. It was God telling me, I love you, daughter. I need you to tell yourself that. Whenever you're feeling negative, that's nothing but the devil. God doesn't want any evil or anything. You have to tell yourself that. Or maybe, hey, I was rejected. So was I. My mother gave me up. I was denied as a child. But lo and behold, when my mother and my father forsake me, I know to depend on God because it's in his word. Let me encourage you also. Do not give up on God because he won't give up on you. And whatever you're going through, God turns it around and he turns it around and he turns it to a blessing so that you can be a testimony to somebody else. Hello, my Ashley. Hello, my baby. Y'all, that's my baby. That's my spiritual and my bonus child. I love you, Ashley. And people talk about church hurt. Been there, done that. That's the church. That's not God. Let God hug you when you're going through. Let God hold you when you're crying. Why? Because I know him. He's a comforter. He's a healer. He's a deliverer. He's all that and then some. And we will be right back after we play my song, Don't Give Up on Jesus. And I will be having my niece, Mani, and she will be telling you her testimony and about her music right after we hear Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Be right back.
Come on, clap your hands and give the Lord some praise. I want to tell you a little story. There was an old mother who lived in New Orleans who was displaced by Hurricane Katrina. She lost everything that she had: her home, car, family. And when they evacuated her, they sent her to a shelter between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. And while she sat there on a cot that they had provided for her, she had been without food and water and the necessities, and she began to cry. She started to shed tears. But while she was crying, she thought on the goodness of the Lord. And she started singing this little song. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Come on, help me say that. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I need some help.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
Come on, lift your voice and say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Come on. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, a young man walked up to her and said, Mother, why are you calling on Jesus? Shouldn't you be calling on FEMA? Shouldn't you be calling on the Red Cross, Salvation Army? Or better yet, shouldn't you be calling on President Bush and Cheney and those? And she said, son, you don't understand. There's a reason why I'm calling on that name. Because that's the name that's above every name. And she said, there's a reason why I'm calling on that name, Jesus. And you know what she told that young boy? She said, come here, let me tell you why I call on that name. Savior, Savior, Savior. Come on, help me say that. Savior,
Savior, Savior.
Anybody know him as the Savior?
Savior, Savior, Savior.
What's his name? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Come on, help me say Savior. Savior, Savior, Savior. Everybody lift your voice. Savior.
Savior, Savior, Savior.
Oh, he's a Savior.
Savior, Savior, Savior.
What's his name? Yeah, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, about that time, the paramedics was rushing by with a stretcher. They had an old man on the stretcher that had a seizure because he couldn't get his medication and his prescription. And she stopped him and said, where are you taking this man? They said, we're trying to get him over to the triage unit and get him some medical attention. She said, let me look at him. And while she was looking at the old man, a young girl came up with a baby in her arm, and the baby had a fever. She said, let me look at the baby too. And the young boy said, why you want to look at these folk? Why you want to look at these folk? You know what she told him? Healer, healer, healer. That's what the old mother said. Healer, healer, healer. I wish y'all would help me say that up in here. Come on. Healer, healer, healer. What's his name? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Anybody know him as a healer? Come on. Healer, healer, healer. Why don't you wave your hand and say healer?
Healer, healer, healer.
Yeah, he's a healer.
Healer, healer, healer.
What's the Lord's name? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, about that time, there was a big commotion over by the exit door. Folks was rushing over to the exit door to see what was going on. They was making a lot of noise, and somebody sent a note, and it said there were 3 tractor trailers out there with food, water, and medicine, and mother started to really cry now. She really lost it now. And then somebody else sent another note, saying there were 2 more tractor trailers that just showed up with dry clothes and Pampers and all the other stuff that they needed. And mother just lost it. She just started boo-hooing all over the place. And the young boy walked up to mother and said, Mother, why are you crying now? You ought to be.
And we're back. Hi, Winter. I love you. Thank you for supporting me. So I am here with my lovely niece. Well, I call my baby my poo because she has the most softest voice. But let me tell you all, don't let the voice fool you because my baby, my niece, y'all need to get on it. She is a lyrical beast. Ladies and gentlemen, future Grammy, future Stella Award winner, future great lyricist of all times. Yes, I'm speaking life to her because I speak life into everybody. Why? Because I love you all. But ladies and gentlemen, some unknown, but to many, this is my niece, Monty.
Hey y'all, my name is Amani, but I go by the real Amani. That's my stage name. But I'm glad to be on this show, and she wanted to do an interview with me about my music. And hey, Ashley,
I am very proud of you, Monty. So I
Hey.
want you to start off with your testimony.
Well, I can tell you what I remember growing up.
Hey, JP.
I was in and out the hospital most of my life because I had dealt with seizures and meningitis twice. I had a mild stroke. Like my eye was sticking out my eye socket, and my mom rushed me to the hospital one day, and she thought she didn't know what to do because she didn't know, she was scared. So she rushed me to the hospital, and they had to do surgery on my eye twice. The first one they did was successful. They did it again, but it wasn't successful. So they was trying to do another one, but she said that's enough. She said we don't need to do another surgery. So they stopped. They didn't do another surgery. And then I had a mild stroke. I had seizures twice, pretty much throughout my life. I had all the diseases you can think of. A little slight of autism I had. I didn't start walking and talking until I was like 3 years old.
Miracle.
I didn't start talking.
Miracle, baby.
I didn't start talking and walking until 3, and then everything my sister did, she would follow me. Follow everything I did, she would follow. And when I was 3, but when I wanted something, I would touch my mother, or I would scream and yell. That's how she'll know what I want. And if I'm sad, if I'm crying, and all those things, and I would throw the pills. I would open the pill bottle, and I would dump them on the floor, and because I didn't want to take the pills anymore. And
let me stop right there. Hey, Mama Linda. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, that's what happened. I threw the pills on the floor, and I didn't want to take any medicine anymore. But I had speech therapy. I had to have a needle stuck in my leg every day. I had to have a steroid stuck in my leg. That's why I would blow up. I was so dark when I was little, so I didn't know who I was when I look back at the pictures I saw. And I was telling my mom, like, who is this? She said, that's you. But you had meningitis or something, so that's why you were so dark. And I would think that was my sister. Hey, Uncle Frank. I thought that was my sister, but she said, no, that's you. I said, you just had to have steroids stuck in your leg, but you never wanted to happen. Then she fast forward, went to school. Most schools I went to, I was bullied. So because I was a quiet kid, so every school I went to, I was bullied just because I was quiet, or I would never talk in class, or like everybody else. I wouldn't talk in class to everybody else, and I was always answering. I would never answer no questions, and I would just sit there. And one day somebody asked me, like, do you talk? I said, yeah, I talk when it's the right time. And I went, well, y'all be doing and getting in trouble. I got bullied at the next school I was at. I had a chair dropped on my back because I had a chair dropped on my back.
Bullies, I tell you.
It was on purpose too. She dropped on my back and she started laughing, and they didn't do anything about it until my dad and my mom stopped her at the outside and talked to her, one of her guardians, and told her to stop bullying me. And I think the last time she bullied me was the last day. It was the next week, I think she started bullying me, and That was it. She stopped afterwards, and I have any more problems at that school. That school I went to, I had a problem.
But God.
Yeah, I had a problem with this one girl, and it just kept going on the whole year until one day I had got enough of it, and I just snapped. I snapped at her, and she just stood in my face, started laughing. So I walked out the classroom. It was over. Class was over, and I walked out to go to my locker, and she was standing right there. I had the bottom locker, and she was standing right there. At her locker, not getting anything out, and my teacher told her to move. She said, "Move. You're in the way." And said, "You already got your stuff out. Like you're doing this on purpose." And she said, she just standing there humming. So I had got that fire in my chest. I said, "Okay, I'm done. It's enough." So I got up and I was trying to go in my locker, but they actually thought I was about to fight her. But I did, but I didn't. I walked up to her, and then the security guards started running down the hallway trying to pull me back.
Oh, trying to see like they were trying to disperse the situation.
They were trying to pull me back, but I got away, and I went into my special needs teacher class, and she told me to sit down and relax and calm down, because when I get hot, my ears start getting hot. When I get real mad, my ears start getting hot and everything. And so she told me, said, "Calm down, cool down, it's okay." And said she's not gonna do this to you anymore. And she said, "How about we go to the gym? Like, go to the gym. I'll give you I don't know how many minutes she gave me to play in the gym, but till I calmed down." So once I calmed down, I was able to go back to class, and I started acting out because I wasn't getting any recognition. So I was getting in trouble every day. I would skip class, or I would walk out of the classroom and just sit out in the hallway, and they would find me in the hallway like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." I said, I'm chilling." It was like, "You need to get back to class." I said, "No, I don't." I said, "Until I get recognized, I'm not doing anything." So pretty much I was like on strike. So I would walk out the hallway, sit on the stairwell, and while class is going on, or I would just sit there in class and not do my work. And my teacher, she got on me, saying that I was rolling on the floor trying to get my books off. I was rolling on the floor trying to get my books, and I rolled back over and put it in my book bag. And my mom, she came up to the school. She was up to the school every day. She came up to the school, and she told her to show me what she was talking about. So she showed her, and she started laughing herself. She said, "Yeah, no, she didn't do that." She said, "Goodbye, and we're leaving." And it's like every year it's a new teacher.
Was always another challenge.
It was one. When I get used to one teacher that come in, I'll stick with that one teacher that whole year. But then they'll keep switching teachers each year. New teachers would come in. I had to get adjusted to the new teachers, and I didn't like it. Especially this one teacher, Miss Kristen, she got on them. She would.
It's okay.
She got on my nerves, but
you managed to graduate.
Yeah, I managed to graduate from trade school.
That was a good thing.
I was homeschooled actually at first. I was homeschooled, and then my mom told me, she said, "Okay, I think it's time for you to go back to school." I didn't want to go back. I said, "No, I'm not ready to go back." She said, "It's time to go back." I was like, "Okay." And she said, "I heard it was Magic Johnson. This is down the street where we used to live on the south side." And I said, we looked at it, and I said, "Okay." So she signed me up for it, and I started the next day. And I was good. I was doing good, really good, and did all my own work when I was supposed to turn in on time. It was on the computer, so I did my work on computers, and I will always be the one to be finished, and I just sit there the whole class trying to figure out what else to do with myself until I started acting up again. And
you would get bored.
No, I didn't get bored. They just started getting on my nerves. It did started that not getting on my nerves, but they was bothering me. One of the teachers was bullying me, so I had enough of it. So I stopped, and I just sat there and started coloring. And one of the teachers said, "You can't color for the rest of your life." I said, "Well," I said, "today I will." Dang, that was fast.
It was. But we're going to go a little bit over.
All right.
So I wanted to know, what gave you the vision to become a lyricist?
My grandma, my grandma told me I would write in my notebook, the notebooks that we had at the daycare. I would write in it, and I don't care if it was written in. I would rip the paper out. I would rip the paper out, and I'll start writing it, and then I'll claim it as mine. And I would keep writing all the notebooks, and then she would save them. She'll save the notebooks, And she said, okay, well, Monty wrote in this one. So she said, I'm going to save this. She said, so I'll save it. And for you can use this one day for, I don't know, anything, poetry. You can use it for writing. Well, she knows I was a writer when I was growing up, but she said you can use this for anything. You can use it for like music or whatever you want to do with it. But she said she saved it. And now when she saved it, I looked back, I was like, oh, I forgot about these notebooks. And I just looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. And then she told me I was gonna be a writer one day. And my mother, she told me, she said, you're gonna be a writer. Because I would write I would write all the way to like the third page. I would write, yeah.
God was gifting you.
Yeah, I would write
you then.
I would write until I can't write no more, until I made to like the third page or fourth page. And then I was showing my mom, and she said, so you wrote all that? I said, yeah. She was like, good. And but she kept the notebooks.
That's a blessing.
She showed it to me. Oh my God, really?
Oh, that's
so
sweet.
irritating.
So we're gonna cut this short, Monty. We're gonna have to have a part 2.
Yeah, but that's the reason why I started writing and everything. But now, yeah, it paid off because now I'm making my music, and I made my music using my phone. My first album I used my phone to record, and then I don't know, I was just searching on the internet. I don't know where I was searching at, but I was just searching, trying to figure out how to record music. I was laying in my bed, actually. I had this in my book. I was laying in my bed, and I had a down moment when I was depressed at the time, and I was laying in bed. And my mom, she said, came to my room, and she said, what are you doing? And I said nothing. She said, have you been writing? You wrote your lyrics? And I said, yeah. I said I was working on my lyrics. And she said, what you gonna do with them? I said, I'm gonna use them for something. I'm let everybody hear me. She said, how they gonna hear you from the bed? He said, you need to get up. He said, you need to get up out the bed. Let me see.
Can you all see my baby girl?
They said,
okay. So, Monty, we're gonna have to continue.
But yeah, that's how I started, and
we're gonna have to continue my interview with you.
Yeah.
Until then, my time is up, and you all have been so wonderful and so supportive. And as we leave the show, I need you all to hear her song, just a snippet. Part 2 will be coming out next Tuesday. Please tune in to her song, which is my favorite, Prayer. We love you all. I wish you nothing but the best and blessings for you. Thank you all for listening. Listen to Prayer. And I'll see you all next Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
Pray for me. Why don't you pray for me? Pray for me. Why don't you pray for me? Pray for me. Pray for me. Why don't you pray for me? Pray for me. Why don't you pray for me? Pray for me. Pray for me. Why don't you pray for me? Pray for me. Why don't you pray for me? Pray for me. Walking through life, seeing miracles happen for me. My fears got turned into blessings. I'm still climbing up that ladder by reading God's holy letter. It is wisdom that God has granted me. I recognize none of this was an accident, for all the obstacles I faced made me stronger. Now it's making sense. The Bible says in Proverbs 4:6, do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Pray for me. Why don't you pray for me?
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ. WVTC Allsip Chicago.